PIERRE, South Dakota, AP, South Dakota Attorney General Jason Ravnsborg will avoid a trial and take a plea deal on misdemeanor traffic charges in a crash last year in which he hit and killed a man who was walking along a rural highway, a prosecutor said Wednesday. Beadle County State's Attorney Michael Moore, who is one of two prosecutors on the case, told the Associated Press that there won't be a trial and there will be a plea entered, but he declined to discuss further details of the arrangement. The plea will be entered Thursday, when Ravnsborg's trial was scheduled to begin, he said. Moore said a judge's order that bars state officials from discussing details of the investigation prevented him from disclosing further details. The Attorney General's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Ravnsborg, the state's top law enforcement officer, was charged with 3 misdemeanors that each carry sentences of up to 30 days in jail and up to a $500 fine. The widow of Joseph Beaver, the man who was killed at age 55, has indicated that she plans to file a wrongful death lawsuit against the Attorney General. Ravnsborg, who was elected to his first term in 2018, initially told authorities that he thought he had struck a deer or another large animal while he was driving home to PIERRE from a Republican fundraiser late on September 12. He said he had searched the unlit area with a cell phone flashlight and didn't realize he had killed a man until the next day when he returned to the scene on US 14 near Highmore. Crash investigators said in November that Ravnsborg was distracted when he veered onto the shoulder of the highway where Beaver was walking. But prosecutors took months more to make a charging decision in the crash, launching an investigation that considered cell phone GPS data, video footage from along Ravnsborg's route and DNA evidence. In videos released by Governor Kristi Noem this year, criminal investigators confronted Ravnsborg with gruesome details of the crash, including that Beaver's eyeglasses were found inside Ravnsborg's vehicle. At one point, they told him, "His face was in your windshield, Jason. Think about that." Ravnsborg seemed unsure in the videos about how he had swerved onto the shoulder, but detectives told him bone scrapings were found on the shoulder's rumble strip. "I never saw him. I never saw him," Ravnsborg told the detectives. Noem called on Ravnsborg to resign in February after the investigation concluded, but Ravnsborg resisted those calls, saying he was still capable of fulfilling the duties of his office and asking that he be given due process under the law. 3 law enforcement groups, the South Dakota Fraternal Order of Police, the South Dakota Chiefs of Police Association and the South Dakota Sheriff's Association, joined the governor's calls for him to step down. The Republican-dominated legislature considered impeaching the Attorney General this year, but momentum quickly died out and lawmakers decided to wait until after the criminal proceedings to consider whether to proceed. House lawmakers said Wednesday that they were still digesting what the plea deal meant for possible impeachment. Republican State Representative Steve Haugaard, an ally of the Attorney General, said an impeachment at this point seemed unlikely, especially given that new details about the crash won't come out at a criminal trial. However, Republican Representative Tim Goodwin, who previously called for Ravnsborg to resign, didn't drop the possibility of a fresh effort to remove him from office. It would require a special session, which can be called either by the governor or by 2/3 of both the House and Senate. There's still one person that died, and he's our senior law enforcement officer, Goodwin said. Ravnsborg's attorneys filed a motion last month alleging that a pattern of alcoholism and prescription drug abuse by PIERRE led at least one family member, a cousin, to believe that a depressed PIERRE killed himself by jumping in front of Ravnsborg's car. Ravnsborg hasn't said whether he will seek a second term next year, but his predecessor, Marty Jackley, is running for his old job. Jackley served for 10 years in the post before losing the Republican primary for governor to Nome in 2018. If you or someone you know needs help, call 1-800-273-8255 for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. You can also text HOME to 741 to 741 for free, 24-hour support from the crisis text line. Outside of the U.S., please visit the International Association for Suicide Prevention for a database of resources. Do you have information you want to share with HuffPost? Here's how.